to all. Today we are going to learn about types of rainfall. Do you know about precipitation? What is precipitation? Different forms of condensation known as precipitation. You already learnt in that water cycle. So in that we know that different forms of condensation there. What are that? Sometimes snowfall, hailstorm, or dew, fog, snow. So many times there, many types of condensation takes place on the ground. In that mainly rainfall also there. Do you know which is the best form of precipitation in the world? Rainfall only. So rainfall is the most common form of precipitation which is very useful to all the human beings. Okay. So what is rainfall? How it occurred that? The sun heats that earth's surface at the time, and the ground air also can heat up by the air and water. So all the water bodies and land masses heaten up by the hot sunshine, and after that it start that evaporation and reaches into the atmosphere, and small tiny droplets of water formed as a clouds. Then clouds starting rising and moving towards to the low pressure situation. Generally, you know that the winds are moving from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Understood? So at the time the clouds, when the reaches dew point or cooling point or 0 degree centigrades, at the time the clouds cannot hold more longer time the tiny droplets of water. At the time it can releases in the form of precipitation. This is known as rainfall. It may be sometimes snowfall, sometimes fog, or sometimes hailstorm, or sometimes it is rainfall or dew. Understand? So in this way we will get rainfall. Understood? Okay na? అంటే డ్యూ టు దట్ హాట్ సన్షైన్, ఎక్కువగా హాట్ సన్షైన్ ఉండడం వలన అక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి ఎయిర్, ల్యాండ్ అండ్ వాటర్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా హీట్ ఎక్కిన తర్వాత దెన్ ఇట్ స్టార్ట్స్ దట్ evaporation అయిన తర్వాత ఫైనల్లీ ఇట్ రీచెస్ టు ద అట్మాస్ఫియర్ అండ్ ఫార్మ్డ్ యాజ్ ఏ క్లౌడ్స్. అంటే ఇవన్నీ కూడా క్లౌడ్స్ లాగా ఫార్మ్ అవుతాయి. ఫార్మ్ అయినటువంటి క్లౌడ్స్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్టెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ప్లేస్ టు అనదర్ ప్లేస్, అంటే ఒక ప్లేస్ నుంచి ఇంకో ప్లేస్కి ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ అవుతుంది. దెన్ వెన్ ఇట్ రీచెస్ టు ది డ్యూ పాయింట్ ఆర్ కూలింగ్ పాయింట్, ఎప్పుడైతే అక్కడ కూలింగ్ పాయింట్ కానీ లేదంటే 0 degree సెంటీగ్రేడ్స్కి అవి రీచ్ అయిన తర్వాత ఆ క్లౌడ్స్ అనేవి ఇంకా ఎక్కువ కాలము వాటిలో ఉన్నటువంటి టినీ డ్రాప్లెట్స్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ని అవి ఉంచుకోలేవు. దెన్ ఇట్ గివ్స్ యాజ్ ఏ సమ్ ప్రెసిపిటేషన్ ఇన్ ద పర్టికులర్ ప్లేసెస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ rainfall. Okay, right. You can see this picture, water cycle. Yes, it is. You already know this: evaporation, transportation, condensation, precipitation, and runoff and groundwater. So these are all together called as water cycle. Okay, you already discussed in previous videos, you can watch it. The total amount of rain received on the given area during a given time as measured by the rain gauge. Understand, rain gauge is the instrument to measure the rainfall. So in which terms we measure the rainfall? centimeters only. But in some areas, mostly in the desert areas, for example, India, which desert is there? Third desert is there. It is in Rajasthan area. It receives very less rainfall. At the time, they recorded that millimeters only, not that centimeters. Understand? But commonly, all the members they measured rainfall in the terms of centimeters only. Okay. What are the factors that influence the amount of rainfall? Latitudes, temperature, moisture, air mass, water activity, and differential heating, mountain barriers, distribution of land and water. Okay. On the basis of origin, rainfall classified into three main types. One is convectional rainfall. Next one, orographic rainfall. This is also known as orogenic rainfall. And next one, cyclonic rainfall. How do we get convectional rainfall? Understand? So due to that hot sunshine, all the grounds heating up and water also heating up by hot sunshine. Finally, water evaporates into the atmosphere. This is known as evaporation of the water. And finally, how it reaches? First, air is heated up by hot sunshine. The warm air reaches into the atmosphere because it is hot. It gets energy and it can escape from the gravitational force of the earth. Then it reaches into the atmosphere and it formed as a clouds. Then cool air cannot hold, formed as a clouds. Then the clouds start moving from one place to another place. They're switching that high pressure areas to low pressure. Where the low pressure occurred means at the time the clouds when reaches cooling point or dew point. Understand? The warm air mixes with the cool air. Then cool air cannot hold water more or longer time. So at the time the precipitation occurs on the ground. Understand? This is known as convectional rainfall. Now, orographic rainfall. This orographic rainfall is commonly mainly in the coastal areas. Mountain ranges are there. Okay, so where the mountain ranges are near to the coastal areas, this kind of orographic rainfall occurred. Okay, so orographic rainfall is known as orogenic rainfall. So the word orogenic rainfall, the word orogenic derived from the Greek word that is oros. Oros means mountain. Okay, that's why this is known as orogenic rainfall or mountainous rainfall. దీన్నే మనం తెలుగులో పర్వతీయ వర్షపాతం అని చెప్తాం. ఓకే, water is evaporated from the ocean and the ground's water moist air is forced to rise when it meets a mountain. So while the rain bearing winds moving and at the same time the rain bearing winds obstructed by the mountains or hills, that at the time it raises up. Raising air when it cools down means or reaches to the dew point or 0 degrees Celsius. The cooling air cannot hold as much as moisture as warm air. So raising air releases precipitation. It's known as this kind of rainfall known as orographic rainfall. This orographic rainfall is commonly occurred in India Western Ghats. Okay, you can see this picture. Look at this. In that what happened? See, the mountains are there. The warm ocean air evaporates into the atmosphere formed as the prevailing winds, and while moving time the winds are obstructed. Obstructed means it was stopped by the mountains. At the time it reaches up, and finally when it reaches cooling point it gets heavy rainfall on the one side of the mountain or hill, and other side also there. Other side there is no rain bearing winds. Only that reason is there is no rainfall. It is called as rain shadow region. It is also called as leeward side. Understood? This kind of rainfall is known as orographic rainfall. Understood? Convectional rainfall is very short duration and heavy showers. Afternoon rainfall in equatorial regions. You know that in equatorial regions very commonly occur in this kind of convectional rainfall daily. So in that equatorial region there are more heavy rain is there. Now, do you know that how many centimeters of rain occurs in equatorial region? Yes, 200 centimeters of rain. It is average, means how much rain it occurred. Just you imagine that. Understood? Here it occurs in early summer in the temperate regions. Understood? Right. Convectional rainfall mostly occurred in India during that beginning of the summer seasons. Okay, next one, orographic rainfall. Orographic rainfall mostly commonly occurred in Western Ghats. At the time raising air, you can see raising air resulting in expansion and cooling, and finally it gets rainfall in the one side of the mountains. One side means here windward side. It's called a windward side. It gives more rainfall. On the other hand, it's known as leeward side or rain shadow region. So in that India, you can see this picture. India, Deccan Plateau is there. In the Deccan Plateau region, there it's called as rain shadow region or leeward side. In this region, there is no rainfall. Rainfall does not occur in this region, mainly in the central part of the Deccan Plateau. Understand? So this place is known as dry. It's known as rain shadow region. Understood? Right. Next one is cyclonic rainfall. So this kind of rainfall, it's known as cyclonic or depression. Understand? This type of cyclones, there are two types are there. So one is tropical cyclones and another one temperate cyclones are there. The term cyclone is derived from the Greek word kyklon. So means kyklon means, what is that meaning? Revolving. So you can see this picture how the cyclone is revolving. So during that last month, in the November month, mostly one cyclone occurred in Tamil Nadu region, Tamil Nadu only. Okay, so this kind of cyclones are there. So names also, the different names of cyclones. Okay, see that tropical cyclone or warm core vortex circulation of tropical origin with a small diameter. Small diameter means here it is hundreds of kilometers there. Okay, with a small diameter, often approximately it is in a circular shape. You can see just like a spring, how that minimum surface pressure less than 1900 millibars with sustained maximum winds of at least 33 meters per second. So they are developed on the warm sea surface and move towards to the land area. Understand? So that winds are lifted up by the moving of cyclones. Understand? The uplifted air gives heavy rainfall. The temperate cyclones occur when the cold and dry dense air masses converge with warm, wet and lighter air masses. At the time the warmex air became lighter, it lifted up by the dense cold and it resulted that rainfall. Do you understood? Here it is actually commonly occurred that cyclone in that tropical cyclone. So mostly in India occurred that tropical cyclones because India lies in that tropical cyclone region. Understand? In Andhra Pradesh region also lies in the entire South India lies in that tropical zone. So Andhra Pradesh located in tropical region. So in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, in these regions mostly tropical cyclones may occur. Understand? Do you know which month more cyclones occur? That yes, October month. It is also called as cyclonic month, October month. Understand? So recently in Tamil Nadu, so nearly it started in October month and up to November only. So why it is occurred? Which monsoons are mainly due to that monsoons? Which monsoons are there? Northeastern monsoons in Bay of Bengal, and it reaches to the Tamil Nadu coast, and finally it gives more rainfall in the Tamil Nadu region. Okay, understood? మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, అండ్ ఫైనల్లీ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ది బెల్ ఐకాన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.